Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Two Tired Dudes podcast. On this episode, Fundead and myself and the rest of the basement gaming community will be discussing if gaming clans are still something that we need in gaming, and also how to survive in an apocalypse. I'd like to thank all of you guys for tuning in each week. I apologize for the delay on this podcast. It took me a little bit longer than normal, but we should be back on track by the end of the week. Thank you again for just tuning in each week and listening, and I hope you enjoy the show. You can play golf, friends, you monster. Excuse me. Heyo, Gabby.
Hey.
All right, it looks like yours is all coming through perfectly fine. Yeah. So Funday's just gonna go and have a little bite to eat, and then he's gonna join us all in a second. But I told him, like, as people come on, we'll just do the roundabout with everybody and do our little catch up. Gabby, are you okay doing that right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, I mean, you already said on my stream, but it sounds like you're gonna have a much more exciting one than I will. Seeing that it was your birthday. But yeah, let's hear what you've been up to.
Nothing really, just playing in between games.
Yeah. So you were
And
mentioning the Atomic Heart Rate was the one you were playing.
yeah, I finally got past it. It was glitched out for me.
Oh, like it was just an error in the game.
Yeah,
Yeah, it looks like
and I finally.
Sorry, I was gonna say it looks like Cat Trooper and all that was posting stuff about it too.
I'm
Sorry.
mostly just waiting to play Hogwarts.
Oh, are you gonna buy it?
I'm getting it for my birthday
Oh,
on Friday.
nice. So,
Yeah,
which one are you gonna side with? Are you gonna be a Slytherin or are you gonna be?
Slytherin.
Yeah.
That's my house.
I was talking to Anthony at work because he was playing it, and man, he's already like
Mhm.
almost pretty much finished it. But he was saying that yeah, there's like each house has their own special quests too, apparently, for each of them. So
Oh, really?
yeah, so what did he do? I think he did Gryffindor first, and then he said he's gonna play another playthrough of it and try Hufflepuff because apparently they have like a really special quest in the game.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I was like, nice. I was wondering how they're gonna like what they're gonna do to like set aside each of them, right? Because obviously they all have their own ups and downs.
Yeah.
But yeah, he said it was really good. The game, and it's just based on everyone's feedback too. It sounds like the game did really well.
hmm
What about shows and movies? Did you watch anything recently?
I've been trying to finish Vikings, and then I've been caught up with The Flash and Last of Us.
How are you liking The Last of Us? Is it still as good as it was? I think it was like 2 weeks ago you were talking about it with Cat Trooper.
It's really good. They changed a lot from the games that I played, but it's really good.
What did they end up changing from the games?
Like, there was this one couple character that they changed a whole different perspective of how it was in the game, which I thought it was really good that they did that way.
Ooh. I mean, I know the ending will probably still be like the same, right? But do you feel like those
Oh yeah,
changes are going to like impact it differently this time, or?
it did. They added like a lot more passion to this like one couple, which ended on bad terms
Oh,
in the
okay.
game. Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting. I wonder, yeah. Like, I mean, because obviously there's people that are watching that show that have never played the game, so I wonder how everyone's gonna feel when the ending happens.
Oh, they're not gonna like season two, that's for sure.
Yeah, I know, right? That's what I was thinking of. That was probably the easiest spoiler I ever had ruined for me the minute everyone got to that chapter.
Yeah.
How's Vikings though? I've heard like some little feedback on that one.
It's really good. My dad's actually the one that got me into it, and then my boyfriend also got to watch it too.
Nice. Is that one like a couple seasons in already, or is it still?
No, it only has 6 seasons.
Oh, it is. Oh, it's six already. Wow. Okay, I thought it was like only a couple years ago that came out.
Yeah, it's just 6, and then there's another one called Vikings Valhalla.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really good though.
Did you ever end up finishing Resident Evil?
Which one?
Was it an 8 you were playing last?
Yes, I did finish it. I also finished the DLC for it. It
Nice. Way to go. How was it in the end? Was it worth it?
was really good. Yeah, I wish it was a little bit longer though.
Um, thanks, Cheyenne. um, yeah. What was I gonna say? For mine, it's not too much. I don't know if you were listening last time or not, but show wise, I'm still on the same show as the last couple of weeks. I'm trying to finish up The Good Place. I finally gave that one a looky poo, and it's actually really good. I was shocked. Season one was absolutely fantastic, and I almost feel like they could have scrapped the show altogether and just made it a movie, and that would have been more impactful than the series
Yes,
itself.
yeah. So I really liked season 1 of that show.
Yeah. Oh, you watched it too?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Right now I'm on season three. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, it's like like I don't want to spoil anything for people that haven't seen it, but like basically every season's like a reset almost, and
Mhm.
yeah, it just it
Yeah.
just like I just want to see two people get together already. I'm just so tired of seeing it happen over and over again.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but I was thinking about it like the other day, and I feel like okay, so one I say like it'd probably be better off as a movie, but if they were to do a TV show for it, it'd be kind of cool to see a TV show about all the demons and like their lives, like how they got there and stuff. I feel like that would have been a better show in the long run. It's like
Yeah, I think so too.
yeah, right. Because like after season one, and you have your twist or whatever, it kind of like kills season two and three in a way.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love the guest stars though. There's been a lot of really good ones. Who was it? Kristen Bell's husband there, Dak Shepard. He was so funny. It was nice
Oh
seeing him.
yeah, I remember that.
Um, and the trolley scene was
Mhm.
pretty funny too. I like that one. Other than that, I don't know if you saw it or not, but they have Spawn on Netflix. We ended up watching that one. Cheyenne and me. Um, that was really good. I love Spawn to death. I'm surprised how well it still held up. Like I was watching it, I was like, you know what, the special effects in this movie are still pretty decent actually, especially like the scenes with his cape.
Mhm.
Did you ever see Spawn from the '90s?
I have not.
No, it's really good. It's definitely
It's been in my watch list of forever.
like it's funny. I can't remember the guy's name that plays one of the bad guys. The clown is the character or Violator. But he did Spun. What else has he done, Cheyenne?
Spun.
I know.
Mercutio.
What's what?
Mercutio.
Oh yeah, he was Mercutio and Romeo and Juliet. But yeah, he's always a really good actor. He's always really out there. I can't remember who the guy is
Mhm.
that did Spawn, but he was definitely the perfect fit for that role. And Charlie Sheen's dad's in it. He's one of the bad guys. Yeah, I know. It's just a really good movie. Oh, what's the girl's name? Um, Jessica. She's another bad guy, but she's actually one of the moms from the OC. It was kind of funny to see her be like a badass.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was a really good movie. And then video game wise, I've just been playing, like I said, Minecraft was yesterday. Actually enjoying my time with that one now. I'm surprised how into it I got after how many attempts. And then I did more Red Dead Redemption 2, so that's the game I want to try to beat after doing Fallen Order. I mean, like I said, that game is just fantastic. I love Rockstar. I still have to get GTA 5. I was able to play a little bit when it was on Game Pass, but I want to have a full playthrough of that one. But all their
Yeah.
all their games are just fantastic. Like I like the little dialogue that they have. Like there's some scenes where you go fishing, right, and they're just like having a casual conversation between each other. Or even like when
Mhm.
you're riding your horse, right? I mean, same thing like any Grand Theft Auto game, right? Like, there's always that little relationship between the characters. That's really interesting. And then what else was I doing? I was doing a lot of what is it, golf with friends with Cheyenne. She likes playing that one a lot.
That's fun.
You like that one too?
Yeah.
I just get so frustrated in it. It's so difficult at times.
Oh, I know. I get so mad.
Like just there's some levels I'm just like, how do you do this in like less than 10 strokes? Like
That's actually how I broke my controller.
really? That's too funny. I think that was really it that I played this week. And then Vampire Survivors. I've been trying to unlock all the achievements for that one. The only
I
thing
can't get into that one. I don't know why.
No, you don't like that one very much?
I don't know why. I just can't get into it.
I get you. Like it's very repetitive. Like you have to like you definitely have to be willing to play those kind of games.
Right.
And then if card game wise, I was playing Elder Scrolls Legends on mobile and the Chromebook. That one's really good. Like I said, if anyone likes card games, I find that one pretty fun. I'm enjoying my time with it. It's pretty easy, very generous to new players. Gives you lots of cards to start off with.
What game was that again?
Elder Scrolls Legends. So very similar
Okay.
to like Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh or games like that. It's got its own little mechanics, right? That's hard, but yeah, it's pretty easy to get into.
Okay.
But yeah, that's pretty much been all for me this week.
Mhm.
So while we're waiting for everyone, Pizza gave us one topic. I posted it there in the chat. So his for the previous week was just asking if you could pick any video game world or universe, your favorite or whatnot. Do you think you could survive in that video game universe? I know. I was thinking that like automatically mine's Fallout, and I know I wouldn't survive. I definitely would not survive in that world at all. I'd probably be the first person to go from the atom bombs.
I'd probably Dying Light. I probably could.
That'd be yours, you think?
Dying Light. Yeah, I played it a lot.
Like, what would you do, Gabby, in that apocalypse? How would you survive?
Definitely be like crafting everything, gathering supplies, and all that.
Like, whenever I always ask you that question, the first place I think of all the time is going to like Costco or a place like that. Just,
Costco, Home Depot.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Home Depot. That's a good choice.
They got tools there.
Yeah. I didn't even think of Home Depot. That's actually a good one. I guess Walmart too. That'd be pretty decent because you have a nice selection of stuff.
Yeah, that would be good too.
Hey, Mom.
Sorry.
No worries, Mom.
My technical malfunction.
It's all good. We were just I was just telling Gabby that Fundead's just having a little light supper right now with his fiance. So while we were waiting, we were just doing a little roundabout and hearing how everyone's week's been going.
Oh, yeah.
If you want, Mom, you can have a go at it. What have you been up to the last week?
Well, work life has been pretty hectic recently. We're having a tough time putting in a new software system. It's not going as well as we would hope it would go. So it's been very stressful. So I've been using Dead by Daylight as a stress reliever. I call it practicing. I've been getting on and practicing quite a bit, especially like literally right after I log off. I will go to it's just something so completely different than what I'm doing throughout the day that I need a break from normal. I need to go into like, not something that's just so far away from average life that I can split myself away from work and not have dreams about work and stuff because it's been that stressful.
Is it like just like a big project for your I guess
it's
government or
it's yeah, I can't really say
no
specifically
I totally
because,
get it. I was just
so, Yeah, I'll just say roundabout. So it's one of the largest, it's a financial system,
Oh,
and
okay.
it handles, I want to say, I don't remember what our average in million is a month, and payments to people. We'll say it like that.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, the system is old. It was old. It was actually old when it was old software, and they've decided to go from this old mainframe to replace the entire financial system with a web-based application, and um, it's been very tricky.
Oh
We'll
gosh,
just put
yeah.
it that.
No, I
Yeah,
get that. Especially if you're dealing with an older system, like that's a lot to change over.
yeah. It is old.
Did you guys
My
have to
my
like do more hours, I guess, then to help them out, or are you still doing your normal shifts?
well, we don't. We kind of. It's hard to describe. We kind of have hours that we're acclimate. Like these are our hours. But yeah, with this happening,
Okay.
I catch myself checking email at like 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. I'll check
Wow.
messaging just in case,
Yeah.
something has come up that somebody needs some. I pull data out of the ticket tracking system so that we can take a look at any of the data that we might think that needs to be higher priority or lower priority, and just kind of see what's happening with it, if it's moving forward with tech, or if we need to get more information on it. And uh, so far, it's for me, it's not been as stressful because I'm not in like a decision making position. I'm just in a support role.
Oh,
But
okay.
we have quite a few help desk tickets on this. Oh, um, well over normal. What I would typically normal. We have at least 500 to 1,000. I'm just gonna say that.
Wow.
So
Holy. Yeah, that's a lot.
yeah, and it's we have inside of states. So you have like in the United States, like we have states, and then inside the states you have counties,
Okay.
kind of like Ireland, and so each state, of course, is made up of different numbers of counties depending on how they draw their boundaries. And so inside of Indiana, we have 92 counties. And
Oh.
so yeah,
Wow.
so we have 92 different ways that, you could, I call it 92 little subcultures. Uh, you could drive just north of my county. And like I have a little southern drawl to my accent. But if you go just north of me, they have an even thicker. Like I live in Indiana, the people north of me sound like they're from Kentucky. And it's weird, odd that people just south of me in the other county, they sound like they're from Tennessee. And then
That's
when you get up near the metropolitan area, you get this weird blend. You might hear kind of like a northern Chicago kind of northern accent blended in with even you might even pick up like a Georgian accent, or Alabama even occasionally mixed in with Kentucky. It's really the crossroads of America. You get everything.
yeah, that's so cool. I was trying to think. I was like, like I
Yeah.
know for us, I guess equivalent would be like Alberta. I know they kind of have like a different accent, so to speak. Yeah, like
Hmm.
I don't know. Would you say, Shan? Do most Canadians have the same dialogue accent?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, right. Just mostly Alberta. So that's really neat that the states is so different that way.
Yeah, yeah. And so each one of our counties has like a different culture. So each one has kind of its own culture. And so as you go to roll these pieces out, we've only rolled 3 counties out, and just as a testing, just a handful of counties are testing it for us right now, and it's early stages. It can always be a struggle, and this is the largest change that we've ever really pushed through, and so it's expected to have bumps along. Absolutely, this is absolutely expected. But at the same time, it's been very frustrating. I think my boss, she is working up until 9 and 10 o'clock every night and has been since January 4th.
Wow.
So Yeah, she's at a point where she needs a break, and I think she's going to take about a week off just to get herself to catch her breath. And she's been kind of living in the other county, that's like about 3 or 4 hours away from where she lives. She's been living down there during the week and then going home on the weekends to help that county get up and rolling with the new system. So it's been a little bit much on her. She's tired. And I'm just a tech nerd sitting there pulling numbers for Freddie whenever they need it, trying to give them support wherever they need it, like just so that they have the information in front of them. It's easy to gain. It's easy to see and to sort and to look through.
So yeah, video games are definitely a must right now for you to relieve that stress.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So
and I got lucky with Dead by Daylight. I think I mentioned this last time that we spoke. Another streamer named Crazy. His gamer tag is Craziest44. I highly recommend him. He's very, very good guy, very good person, very fun to watch. Plays the Final Fantasy, Dead by Daylight. What was the other game called? Don't Starve. Is that what it's called?
Oh yeah. Don't Starve. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched him play through that a little bit. Really, just genuinely nice person, very nice person. Walked me through, gave me some tips and tricks on it, and I'm so lucky. I feel so lucky because it's helped me so much in my gameplay, my understanding of like what to do in certain scenarios, and I'm still fine tuning. I might have one really, really good match, and then the next match dead, dead right out of the gate. So I can't stop playing it now. I mean, to be honest, I cannot stop playing that game now. I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, I was gonna say because you really like started fresh with that game, and I said to get into it at this point, right? What like draws you into the game so much, Bob? Like, what do you enjoy the most out of it? Like compared to like popping in Destiny 2 or another game they usually would play.
I think to me, it's co-op, but it also, to me, it has some loose RPG type feel to it.
Okay.
Because as you go in, you can pick your character, whichever character you want to roll with, and each one has its own perk. And then you can, as you add to your loadout before you go in, you can set goals for yourself through the archives, and you can kind of it feels a lot. It's so weird. I said this to my son the other day, and he just scoffed. He was like, "Mom, come on, that's stretching it." And I go, "I'm telling you, it's like Destiny 2. I'm telling you, it's like Destiny. I think that's why I'm getting sucked into it, because I can build this out, and I can keep building on this character. Yeah, I mean, you only have so many things that you can add to your loadout, but there's so much to learn, and I think that's why I keep going back to it. I'm pretty sure that's what's actually drawn me into it, because each time I get on, like I got on today for a little bit after work, and I got dumped onto a map I had never seen, and to me, and a killer I had never seen. And I'm intentionally not doing a whole lot of research around that stuff because I want to still have that feeling of, ooh, what's this?
Yeah, that's so true. I always look forward to like the new seasons when they have that like a new map or a new killer.
Mm-hmm. This was different. I don't even know what it was called because I went into the other room. I thought it's going to take a few minutes to load, so I'll run in here and grab my water. I came back in and I was already loaded in. I missed the name of it and everything. Oh shit! So it was like this cowboy character that shot.
Oh
Do you know what I'm talking about?
yeah. That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, he was so quick. I was like, oh shit! I felt like there was a lot. I call it hide and seek. There's a lot of hide and seek in that one. I was like, I'm just gonna sit over here for a minute and camp until the crows chase me away.
It's such a good ability too. Yeah, I like that because he pulls you right towards him. Right, then it's a simple little swipe and you're done.
Yeah, like a little grappling hook off his gun, and it's like a rifle too, so he gets a long shot on you. So I thought, and the map was really cool. I thought that was there are some maps I absolutely hate. I'm like, oh god. When I get in, I don't know why. I just don't like it. It's that Raccoon City and the police department.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
god.
I think we're the same
Oh
then.
god.
Do you hate it when
I
it's
hate
like
that one.
when it's closed in, or do you like have the open
Yeah,
space?
I hate the closed in.
Me too. Yeah.
It's yeah. I would much rather. I like the nooks and crannies for some killers. I guess it really depends on the killer. I like the nooks and crannies for some of the killers. Like it just seems to me like every time I get on to one of these small maps, it's one of these what I call OP, this OP killer where I'm like, oh, I'm dead. Like, why am I even running? This person is just gonna phase in front of me, grab me, and I'm done. So, but if I'm out in the open, I feel like I have more shot, like a better shot.
For like it used to be the Huntress. I used to really hate fighting her, the one that like whistles. Yeah. But I think now for
Yes.
me the worst killer, like I always find it so cheap, is the one that throws the daggers. I don't know if you had him yet. He kind of,
Yeah.
yeah, right. Oh,
Hmm.
just so
Yeah.
so hard
Are
to
they
beat.
are they hatchets or are they daggers?
I
Because there's one. Wait a minute. I could be getting mixed up because I haven't met all the killers yet. You know more than I
Yeah, I
do.
think no, okay, yeah. So the hatchet's definitely the Huntress, the one that like whistles or
Hmm.
whatever her noise is.
Yeah. She hums.
Yeah,
Yeah. She
hums. Thank
sings.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's another guy. I don't know if you'll meet him at one point. But he's kind of like almost like an anime character, and yeah, he's really
Oh
annoying.
yes. Yes. I know when I get on a map with him.
Yeah,
I might as well just sit down and just go come get me.
right. Yeah, because they're so quick. His little daggers where he throws at you,
Hmm.
and it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm done. Like,
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. To me, that's a hide and seek. I call it, oh, well, it's just going to be hide and seek the whole time. I'm not going to be able to run out in the open. I'm going to have to stay hidden the entire time.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So the Huntress is probably, and Scream. Scream bugs me I call it Scream, the ghost
Oh,
face.
oh, yeah. He's
Um,
so quick.
yeah. And he has no indicator. Like he does not come with the heartbeat sound.
Right? All you
So,
hear is that little noise he
yeah.
makes, and then it just boobies after
Yeah.
you.
And he's right in front of you. So if you just are constantly looking around, yeah, he'll serve you your ass pretty quick. Yeah, for real.
Oh, it's so good though. I'm glad you actually like that game in the long haul.
I do. Yeah, I do. I do. I've seen me playing this for actually for a long time, and I have bumped into a few toxic players, but nothing like nothing I see any different than Destiny 2.
I know,
This
right?
is
Do you use is
nah.
yours usually the same? Like I'll get like, like, oh, you should have guarded the effing generator, or like it'll be something stupid like that. It's like, buddy, like I was trying my best. Like
Well, I haven't got any nasty messages now, knock on wood, but I have gotten where there's some kind of perk that the killers, because I haven't played killers yet, that the killer can put on to make your skill check meter move faster or better. It
oh,
modifies it.
okay.
And I was nervous. I had never seen it. I think I was only in like my 10th match. I was number 10. It was probably within the first 20 matches I'd ever played. And the skill check was so fast, none of us were hitting it. Like no one could hit the skill check. I don't know what they did to that to make that do that. It was genius. I was like, well, if I was the killer, I'd do the same thing.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
it's very, very hard. Yeah, it's really, really hard even to get a good one in. I kept missing them. And I missed like 3 in a row trying to heal this person. They got so mad at me that they started, like teabagging me, right?
Oh.
And running all around me. And I was like, fine. And I could, how sometimes you can kind of tell like people are partied up. They were in a party. You could tell they were partied up. And I was like, fine, that's fine. You can get mad at me. But neither one of them had a skill check yet. So I ran away from them and crouched down and watched as the two of them just could not. They went through the same deal. Like they could not hit their skill checks. Whatever that was that the killer had on there was really, really smart. So when they each got hooked, I made sure to walk over to them and unhook them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm out running. If you think I'm going to run for you now, no. So when I unhooked each one of them, I pointed to each one of them because you have that little gesture.
Yeah.
I just pointed to them. You're welcome. Bye now. That's it. I'm not going to heal you. I'll unhook you, and your little friend can come over here and fix it for you. So, and we ended up, I think, me and one of those people made it out alive, and the rest of them, the other two didn't make it.
Oh, it's
so
pretty good.
it
You
was
guys still did
fun.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, it was funny.
And
that's the only thing I've run into so far, though. I did run into a cheater the other night. Said people were teaming up, but that's just gaming. That's just people.
Yeah. No, that's true. I know I've had where like the survivors helping the killer, and you're like, what the hell?
I know. Like, yes. Like, if you guys want to do that, get a private match going and then bump your numbers up.
Yeah.
Like, don't pull the rest of us along with.
Do that with your friends or whatever.
Yeah. I was on a hook, and I guess they didn't realize I could see them, and the survivor did a gesture toward the killer, and the killer was getting ready and stopped. And I was like, oh, yeah, because if I die, I was, 10 feet away from them. I don't know how they didn't realize I could see what they were doing, and made a gesture toward the killer. And basically, like, the killer made a gesture back, and they had agreed that they were going to let me die out on the hook. And then the two of them get more points for the runaround, because the gate was already open, the doors. Yeah. So, and you get you get more points when the gates are open. So and I don't mean to carry on about it. That's the only other thing I've seen, and that's nothing compared to what I've seen in other games. I was like, I'm good. I've seen a lot worse in other games. I didn't think it. I mean, I know I've heard it can be a toxic community. I don't know it for sure, but I don't know. I've been around Disney a lot. There's some pretty toxic players in that game.
Exactly. I mean, like, I don't know. I haven't found it too bad in Dead by Daylight. Like I said, I'll get the odd message here and there, right? Just saying, like, oh, why the F did you do this for me? It's like, sorry, man.
Yeah. I put a delay on. Have you seen that where you can put a delay on?
Oh, no.
So if you go into settings, there's an option to put matchmaking delays on. So it stops. It's supposed to kind of help stop in-game harassment, how much it works. But I was going to settings, and I was going there, kind of muck around and see what I can see. Sometimes I show my name, sometimes I don't. It just depends on the mood I'm in.
Yeah.
I
was gonna say, I think where it really gets fun. I haven't like gotten too many characters done, but I know like once you prestige some of them, you could even take their special abilities for other characters. So you can kind of like customize a little bit, right? And make your own unique character in the long haul. Some of them have some good abilities.
Like what character do you have, like a main character, or do you have like handfuls that you use?
No, I love the one that can heal herself. I usually stick with her quite often.
Yeah.
But Cheyenne,
it
really got me hooked on. I think her name's Maine, right? The one with that really good outfit that you, Cheyenne. The Asian, or like the Dead by Daylight. Fame. Oh, Fang. Okay, yeah. So
that's one I read. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, she has this one outfit that's like completely dark, right? And you can hide on a rock and you blend in perfect. I love using her back in the day.
I used her. That's the one that I use because of her ability to work on the generators.
Oh yeah, and it doesn't sound off, right?
Yeah. Now that I've got her prestige 3, I think I'm at 3 with her, which is like not a big deal. I'm baby, right? I've got baby legs, but it's been really cool to see the different little things I can build out with her, and make like the 4 things, the 4 little things that come with her.
Yeah.
Like a sprint. Yeah. I like building off of that. I like using her. She's fun to use.
Yeah, she's a really good choice, actually. So minus Dead by Daylight, is there anything else you've been playing, Bob?
I'm actually, I think I'm going to stream Minecraft later this evening because I have a build in my head that I want to work on. But outside of that, not really. I keep catching myself. Supposed to get on Destiny and I missed it because the new storyline is going to roll out, and I totally forgot to get on and finish what I needed to. My son just got on me earlier. He was like, "Did you get on Destiny, Mom?" And I was like, no, I did not. I was playing Dead by Daylight. He's like, you gotta stop playing that game. Like, whatever. I'm having fun.
It's my
My
new
daughter's
addiction.
on Overwatch. Oh good Lord, our family has the household is now listening to Overwatch players. She's playing Overwatch a lot.
How about any TV shows or movies that you watched recently?
Oh yeah, I'm catching up on Andor. If you haven't seen it and you even think you like Star Wars, this series is fantastic. I've seen not everything around Star Wars, but I was raised in it, and I've read some of the books, seen a lot of the cartoons, some of the anime, and I've seen every single movie except for Rogue One and Han Solo. Those are the only two that I haven't seen. But by far, everything that I've seen the animated series, a couple of the animated series. This show, I've seen The Mandalorian and um, the other series that Boba Fett was in. This by far, I'm just gonna say, I think Cat Trooper, I do is on here tonight, would agree with me. This might be better than handfuls of the whole movies. Like, I think
Wow,
this
okay.
blows, yeah, this blows the first three movies kind of out of the water. It's so good. It's compelling. I mean, it's that good. It's very, very good.
What setting is it in, like in the Star Wars universe? Like is it within the first three movies? Is it after the
It,
Jedi fall,
it,
or
no, it's actually, I think this is the part that hooked me. It's actually right as the Empire hasn't like completely shown the Emperor has taken over. The
okay?
Empire is slowly spreading and has spread through the universe and very quietly taken over planets, but they haven't really shown their full hand yet. They haven't really
Oh,
shown like we're going to press everything and everybody, we're going to control everything and everybody yet. But these senators are starting, and these political figures and your average people are starting to see it and talk about it and like, what are we going to do about this? And so this is the beginning of the discussion of the rebellion. So, and kind of how it gets its feet
that's
underneath
cool.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, how people rise up and they're like, we're not going to. Some references to a New Hope, which is my favorite, still my favorite. New Hope and Empire are my two favorite. And there are some character references. I actually have an actress that is referenced actually in Jedi. She's in Jedi, and she's not the actress, but they have an actress that looks just like her. My son thinks it might actually be her, but I don't think it is. I think she'd be too old for it now, but she is the actress that comes out and talks about the Bothans giving their lives for the plans to get the plans for the Death Star. She is a character in this series. So, and Andor is the main character. So, yeah, it's really, really.
I was gonna
I'm so
say, yeah,
shocked.
that's a
I'm
really
like,
good setting to like focus on. Ooh, I like that.
it's very good, very good. The sets are fantastic. I don't know where they shot it. We assume whenever we see something like this, it's New Zealand, right? We just go, okay, Lord of the Rings. Um, must be Lord of the Rings. But it's the special effects are top notch. The acting, it just and they reference so much the old style of the movies, the old costumes. It's fantastic. I can't. It's fantastic. It's on Disney Plus.
Okay, I'll have to check that one out then. We got
Yes.
another show, Cheyenne.
Sorry.
Mr. Fundead, I see you're done your pork chops. um, how about you, my dude? We all kind of did our little recap. How's your week been?
Well, yesterday my car wouldn't start, so therefore I had to get a new battery. That was fun. And then that's $151 later. And then after that, I went to work today, And last night, my water heater decided to stop working. So therefore, I had no hot water in the apartment. So therefore, maintenance had to come out today and get it going again. And I was at work whenever they came in. Gratefully, they didn't mess anything up and nothing bad happened. The cats were locked and everything, so no worries there. But last night, I had to take a very, very cold shower at 1 o'clock in the morning. So that was fun.
Those are the worst.
That was enjoyable.
Those are the absolute
Oh, absolute.
worst.
Oh my fucking! I hated that shit. I was like, oh my god, kill me now.
You like dip your head in there quickly just to see if your body can handle it.
Yeah, and considering
Oh.
I didn't have any hot water, I mean absolutely none. Yeah, my body didn't like the idea of me trying to get in the shower. The whole time my body was clenched up and everything was spasming. It was not fun.
Aw.
It was probably one of the fastest showers I've ever taken, though. But I'm not the only one that is having a rough week at my job. Yesterday, Ethan is a guy that I work with. I guess he forgot to tighten down one of the tires on a car, and the tire fell off. And it's probably close to $1,000 in work to get it fixed.
Wow, 1,000 for the tire?
So,
Holy.
yeah. But just the tire. It's the fender, the door, the paint. Yeah, there's a
Holy crap.
lot of stuff that needs to get done with that.
How is your work going now, Fundead? Is it a little more like busier, or because though for a while there you're saying if it didn't pick up, you had to work on your boss's car, right?
I mean, it didn't. Well, today was pretty fucking busy. I did, I think, 6 or 7 cars, but yesterday wasn't too bad. I mean, I did maybe 2 cars today, so not great, but it's not horrible. So at the moment, it is slowly getting warmer here, so therefore people are deciding to, oh yeah, I should probably get some stuff done.
How about like video games and shows and all that? Did you get a chance to do anything this past week?
Me and my fiance have been binging Business Proposal still.
Oh, nice. Are you guys close to finishing it, or?
We are. We have just 2 more episodes.
Woohoo.
Only 2 more. And I'm so excited to see the ending because it got really good. So super excited about that. I'm actually ecstatic about seeing the ending. It was hard to get me off the show whenever we were eating.
I get it. There's some good ones out there.
But other than work having a bunch of nincompoops running around and causing chaos and havoc, and not really much has happened.
So you didn't play any games past week?
I think I played some Destiny, not a whole lot. But other than that, I played quite a bit of Ark Survival, you know, my dinosaurs.
Yeah. How's your little world going?
So I actually play on my world and my fiance's world. I am slowly getting her up to the same level I am, and she is moving to a better spot in the game because I am slowly migrating everything over to a different area. And she has a few good tames, but on my world, I have a dinosaur that I like to call Scarf because you're able to wrap him around your body and carry him around. and he kind of looks like a scarf in third person.
That's pretty
So,
cool. Okay.
His name's Scarf. He does, I believe he does 53 million% damage.
Holy crap.
So, so if I'm really in a sticky situation where I pass out and he's on me, since he ignores all the whistles for being passive or aggressive and stuff like that, instead of doing that, instead of just staying there and like eating, he actually attacks the thing that's trying to attack me. So it's really helpful.
Yeah, no kidding. That's like,
So
hi.
yeah, I constantly have him wrapped around me at all times, just in case.
That's a good.
Because there's a
fucking-
bunch
wow.
of different critters that can knock you out or blind you and stuff like that. So
Was it even like hard to tame or?
since I dabble in the fucking around and finding out with settings in
Yeah.
that whole world, no, not really, because it takes about either one berry or one piece of meat to tame, but it does take time for it to tame simply because it is time based. So therefore, like your bigger creatures, they'll take longer than what you normally would understand, and some of them are just a pain in the ass, and some of them are just super easy. So not too hard to tame some of them, but they can be.
Nice. Wow. That's really cool though. So Gabby and I were kind of talking about it earlier. Mom and Fundead, get your chance to give your thoughts on it. I think you'll be very impressed with Gabby's answer, though, Fundead, the game that she suggested. But for the two of you guys, so we didn't get a chance to say Pizza's topic last week. He asked, if you could pick any video game universe, to survive in, which one would you pick that you think you would do well in? So, for example, his was Grand Theft Auto. Gabby's was Dying Light, and then mine was.
Hey,
I know. I figured you'd like that one.
yeah.
And then for me, I did pick Follow because I love that universe, but I definitely don't think I would survive very long.
I mean, you never know. You might meet dog meat. You never know.
That's true. That's true. I mean, we dog meat.
That dog can never fucking die. I don't know how many times I got into a sticky situation because of that damn dog.
I know, right?
The motherfucker don't know how to stop.
It's like, no, stop going that way.
Yeah, no, leave the super mutants alone.
I don't know. Does it? I mean, I do play Stardew Valley. Does that count?
Yeah. Because his was basically like, what's your favorite video game universe, and do you think you could survive in it?
Oh, my favorite video game universe, though, that would probably be Destiny.
What do you think, Mom? Could you survive?
Destiny.
Yeah, I do too. I think you do pretty good.
I don't know. Yeah. Dead by Daylight. Dead by Day is probably going to be a close second. Yeah.
God, that'd be terrifying to
don't
live in
know.
that world.
Can you imagine that?
I wish I. Mm-mm.
I just,
Mm-mm.
yeah. Especially
It'd be-
Mhm.
It'd be like Predator versus Alien kind of shit. Tails.
we had
I got a really big thing about tails.
we had like a couple of killers though. Like I've had 4 or 5 killers that come into the game and just tell you they'll come over to you. They won't hurt you or anything, and they tell you depends on the map. It depends on the killer. Go ahead and do your thing because I'm going to let you all live. Everybody, let's just all try and get as many points as we can.
Yeah,
And
those are good moments.
yeah, that's happened. Yeah, really nice players. And likewise, I could tell this. There was a guy that wasn't, at least the main character, he was a guy, he wasn't catching anybody. And I was like, I feel really bad for him. So I just ran out in front of him and just stopped. And he looked at me. And I just went crouched up and down a couple times, and he was like, "I get to kill you," and he's like, "Whack!" I was like, just I don't care. Just do it. If it's gonna help somebody feel better or help their morale, I don't care. Just whack me. I'll come back and play again. I don't care. So it depends on the map and the killer.
No, that's really nice. Yeah, because there are definitely moments as a killer you get so frustrated. You're like, oh, I just want to catch one person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I tried playing killer once, and I was like, well, I won't be doing that again anytime soon. So I know what that feels like. Yeah, I just felt bad for him. I was like, how are we getting everything? And he was just missing us. And I was like, nah. I don't know. The little girl that comes out at the ring, whatever her name is,
Oh,
comes on
yeah.
television. What is it? I'm sorry.
Grudge?
No,
They give her
no.
a different name now.
The ring. Fundead, like
Yeah,
the one that like comes on TV, right? It has like the little circle.
yeah. You can pull the VCR tapes out
Yeah.
of the TVs and then place them into the other TVs and turn them off so she can't move across the map as quickly. Because she moves so fast.
Oh
If you
God,
don't like
yeah.
control those TVs, she'll be on you in a second. She's the only other, like, she scared the absolute hell out of me because you don't hear her coming at all.
Is it like
She'll
a great
jump.
googly moogly scare, or is it like a nah, fuck this, I'm gonna get off?
No, I mean, I don't get all. It doesn't scare me that much. I mean, but I like jump scares. You have to remember that. That's like just
Like
the gore and stuff doesn't bother me at all. I'm kind of immune to it because I've seen it for so long. It's the jump scares that I like. And when I get a good jump scare, I might just laugh and end up letting them kill me anyway because I think it's so funny. But she's good at jump scares because she doesn't make any sound. All of a sudden, she'll just be beside you, and she can move across the map so quick. She's a blur.
Yeah, she's a good killer.
She
That
can't
one.
see you well. Yeah. Jump scares are great. I love them. Those are my favorite.
So what is it about? Would it be Dead by Daylight or Destiny 2 for you that you'd want to live in?
I know. I say probably Destiny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been doing it longer. I'd have to say Destiny. Yeah. Yeah, jetpacks, right?
That's
Who doesn't
true.
want a jetpack?
Mr. Fundead, is it going to be Dying Light or is it going to be somewhere different?
Dying Light would be too much fun. Dying Light would be way too much fun. Simply because I have a strong hatred toward humans, but at the same time, I would not be the good guy. I can promise you that.
Oh, you would be surviving. Okay.
I would simply be like one of those people that just go straight for everything. Everything's game. I don't care. Because again, I'm not too fond of humans. I'm not too fond of people. People irritate me and annoy me too much. So I'm an introvert.
Same.
But if I had to choose a game that I would strive in, I would probably choose. There's two choices: either God of War
Ooh.
or like Borderlands.
Oh, yeah. Borderlands would be kind of fun to live in. It would be chaos is all hell, but
The fucking skags. Or the things that fly. I can't remember the ones that fly. I can't remember their name.
oh shoot, yeah, I'm having a brain fart too.
They're like fucking rat with wings. They're everywhere, and they're annoying.
That's true though. If you're a vault hunter, I mean, yeah, you can make a killing. You could definitely survive in that world.
And I actually have experience with shooting guns, so I know I'd be okay. Plus side of being a country bumpkin. Woo!
I was gonna say, Gabby gave a good shout out earlier. We were talking about surviving like in a zombie apocalypse, and I obviously different stories in states compared to Canada, right? But we have like this huge, I guess, like bulk store. So like when you go in there, right, you buy bulk toilet paper, bulk cereal, bulk anything, right? And it's always very affordable price. So for me, I said I would definitely go to that one. But then Gabby has me thinking outside the box now because she shouted out Home Depot, which is basically like tools, lumber, all that kind of stuff. And then I started thinking, oh, maybe Walmart would be a good choice. But what about you guys? Where would you go if it was a zombie apocalypse? Like, would there be a go-to location for you? Like, would you go to the mall? Would you go to a certain store?
Like, are you talking like specifically a store?
Well, it could be a store. It could be a location that you think would have the best advantage for you. Like, if you think the library is the best place to go, like, why would it be that?
Oh, because I live out in the middle of nowhere.
Oh no!
Really, yeah, we really don't have anything. So for us, it's, I mean, my 5 cents. My parents had property that was even further away from us. That was out in the middle of the they call it the Hoosier Forest. It was on the edge. I actually own a portion of the Hoosier Forest, just a little bit of it. And we had all joked at one point because when my son was about 14, all the zombie stuff got really popular, and he had the zombie survival guide, the flashcards and stuff. And we were all joking, sitting around the campfire down there one night, like this would be the perfect place. No one is down. No one is going to find us. We are in the middle of freaking nowhere. Like, um, yeah, the only way they would find us, um, even if they did find us, there's just so many places that we could hide there. They would never get to you. Um, yeah, ours would be out in the middle of nowhere. There was an actual stone quarry that sat on the back of the property, and that would be the perfect spot to hide in.
See, crap! Now you got me thinking. I would assumed in the middle of nowhere you'd be kind of screwed, but you're right. Yeah, man, that is a better advantage.
Yeah, and the stone quarry, actually, the one stone quarry was an old movie with Dennis Quaid. I forget what it's called, where they rode bicycles, and it was around the Little Indy, the Little 500. They hold something called the Little 500 here every year, where Indiana University, it's a cycling race, and they go. They use the same mileage that the Indy 500 does, but they use bicycles, use 10 speeds and stuff. So, like, and they made a movie around it. And at one point, they filmed everything around this area where my parents owned some property, and they filmed in one of the stone quarries. The quarries are they're it was an industry down there. It was their main industry at one point, and it showed Dennis Quaid and these two actors on this stone. And I would swear up and down. I would swear up and down it is the one that was behind my parents' old property, because they shut them down and quit using them. And it's stone, the Bedford Stone Quarries. And we were standing up on this cliff, and I was like, well, look at that stone down there. It looks like the one that Quaid and those boys were on, the way it was angled and everything. And we rewatched the movie a few years ago, and I was like, we're almost sure that that's actually where they shot it.
That's so cool!
And
Wow.
Yeah, they're everywhere down there though. The kids would sneak off campus and go swimming in the quarry holes. Yeah, that was pretty common. You just don't get caught. You have to know where to look, and there's all these hill centers, So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, even
good
too,
hiding
like
spot.
for your advantage, right? Like, yeah, because you think about it, right? In the city, obviously, it's going to be quite the big horde and stuff of zombies. But yeah,
Hmm.
going out of the country, it'd take a while for them to have an army, at least, of zombies to attack you.
Yeah, yeah. And the way the cliffs are in that area, they're not steep. They're not like sure mountainous cliffs. They're hillside cliffs. So you could easily live on the side of one of those with no problem. And there are small caves and things. So nah, that's where I would go.
Nice. Yeah, no, smart thinking, Mom.
Hmm. Yeah. But we'd already talked about it, so this is all prefaced. Like we'd already laughed and talked about this like 20 years ago. Laughing around a campfire one night when my parents and they're all sitting around drinking beer, laughing about it, and I was like, yeah, this is where I would go.
So, Mr. Fundead, you had a little bit of a laughter there. What was your diabolical plan?
So, okay, hear me out now. So, for me, right, I would probably go to a little store in Alaska, right? Called Wall Mike's, and if you look it up, it's like a little store that has like just bits and bottles of everything, right? So the reason for that is because it's small space. I can use whatever is inside the store, scrap, to make whatever I want. The barricades and stuff like that, because I have experience welding. I have experience working on cars. So it's literally like a little scrap safe haven for me. Plus, it's in Alaska. Not a whole lot of people are in Alaska. So, and it's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, you took that one like right out of the ballpark. Like, holy shit. Not even thinking about leaving home country. It's like, shit, that's a good idea.
So here's my question though: are we talking like Walking Dead kind of zombies, or are we talking like zombies, or are we talking about like Left 4 Dead zombies? What are we talking about here?
No, me and Gabby were talking Dying Light, so we'll stick with those zombies.
Oh yeah, no, Alaska then. I'm good. I'm safe. They can't go in the cold.
Yeah, I was gonna say most zombies. I don't think, like TV shows and all that, they usually don't do well in the cold.
Other than in The Walking Dead, but yeah, The Walking Dead, all you gotta do is just go over water. You're fine. Boathouse and you'll survive. Left 4 Dead, everybody's pretty much safe as long as you're in the cold. And Dying Light, as long as you're not in the city, you're fine.
Oh, I see. Mom, was that the movie you were talking about? That you posted?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I was muted. Yeah, yeah, I
Let me get a
wanted
look-see.
to put some text under it, but I can't type fast enough. I can't see, but I don't know how to put my glasses on.
Oh, no
Yeah,
worries.
so this is a link to anyway. Yeah,
Nice. Okay, that's cool. I'll have to check that
yeah,
out.
and I didn't realize they had some clips of the you can see the forest and trees when you drive around Bloomington in the summer. You have to be very mindful. You have to be very, very careful because it's very hilly, and the cyclers they cycle in packs, and a lot of times you can't see them, and there are no they're right on the road with you as traffic. There's not like a lane for them,
Oh,
and it's in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, we've actually had some of them hit and killed, and
wow.
over the years, not a lot, but and you don't see them quite as often as you used to. Like when I was younger, we had to be so careful when I was learning to drive around there because you could literally hit one and knock 50 down. Like you had to be, you would never. I mean, it was just you just need to drive slow. Like just don't. Posted speed limit might be 50, 55. Do not drive 35 because there's a good shot you're going to hit someone if you do that. So yeah, and it's in the hillsides of Bloomington, Indiana, and Bedford, Indiana. So very pretty country. Striking.
Um.
The Hoosier forest is protected, so it can't be logged or forested.
Oh.
It's
Okay. That's cool. Yeah, I'll have to check.
it's a state park, huge state park. So anyway,
Yeah, no, it's cool. I'll have to check that
I
movie
thought
out. Then, so get an idea of what it looks like. Where you're from.
it's such a 70s movie too. It is. Oh my god, it's so 70s.
um.
Conjures up Caddyshack.
Oh, nice.
That vibe. Yeah.
um. So yeah. So branching out from the video game universe there. Um. Just I'm not gonna pick anyone. If you guys are passionate and you have your piece you want to say about it, by all means shout it out. Of course, if no one says anything, then I'll pick somebody. But we've talked about Destiny 2 many times, and I think the same comment always seems to come up, right, about the community and how you guys feel about it and all that. So it kind of got me thinking, especially after our last podcast. Sorry, we were talking about clans or guilds or whatever term you want to use. You know, every game has their own version of it. But do you guys feel like that is something that games could continue to carry on? Have they kind of served their purpose at this point? You know, do they really impact the game anymore? Because like Mom, I think you had a really good example last time. Like, you know, when you join a guild or a clan, in like Destiny 2 or if it's Overwatch or whatever the case is, right? If you're part of a group of people, it gets really intense. I could say that too from just playing Gems of War, right? The guild that I was in, like you were expected to almost do a full-time job. And, you know, is that something that games should still have nowadays? Like, is that really worthwhile?
I think it would depend on your level of gameplay. Like casual gameplay, probably like if I'm casually playing it, I would think it probably. Now I know the Meatwad. He has a fantastic group of people that he plays with, and I don't think there's a lot of pressure there. I've never played with them, but the vibe that I get is that it's a relaxed. You can be a relaxed clan. It's pretty relaxed and laid back. So I would say maybe it's per clan and per like player style. Does that make sense? Like if you're going in as
Yeah,
casual,
because like when I was thinking of
yeah,
this too, right? I was like, what game has really been going on for a long time? So like World of Warcraft would be like one of them, right? But even that one
yeah,
has been what remastered or whatever has gone through the rid cycle. Um, and I guess in that game, yeah, maybe clans do help that game stay alive. But for most games, you know, like eventually, like you said, there's gonna be a Destiny 3. So you know, all the work Destiny 2 with your guild or your clan, right, eventually is gonna be washed away and it's gonna, you know, restart that cycle. So I don't know. I was just trying to think, like, you know, like when it comes to like clans like that, they're just so intense, or even a guild that's so intense like that. Like, is it really helping the game survive longer, or is it actually hurting it more by having that negative community? Like I said, for me, my experience with Gems of War, like that's what kind of turned me off of it. Like I honestly,
mm,
and a lot of people that left that guild had the same reaction, right? Like, dude, it's a game. I don't want to play this
mm,
for 8 hours a day, and
right, right. Balance everything. There has to be some kind of balance.
yeah, so
Yeah,
yeah, I was just curious if you guys
yeah.
felt the same way or how you felt about clans and guilds.
Each clan I've been in, because I've been in a few, have been different. Like I've been in clans where I've never spoke to one person in the clan. We just knew that if we all participated in certain events throughout the week or a month, whatever it was, that we would all get the clan rewards, and everybody participated. And then I've been in clans where only four of us are doing anything at all,
Yep.
and then we never do each other either. Like nobody's really participating, but we just want this clan rewards. Um, and then the last one that's a part of, it was just like that was that was just like their central focus of what they did. Like we do multiple things in our household. Like we do tons of video games. So trust me on that. We're big video gamers. But my daughter plays softball or plays softball. My son was a skateboarder. We like to go to museums. You know, we like to be in nature too. So, but to me, that clan that I was part of, and I don't know if this is what was going on with your Gems clan, it was the only other thing they did outside of work
Yep.
or outside of family.
Yep.
And there's a lot of people out there like that. This is my jam, right? And you're like, okay, that's cool. That's fine, but it's not everything for me. So I think that's the difference. I hope I'm not overstating that.
No, I feel the same way too. because like I said, that was the weird thing with the guild I was in, is that we had 4 different tiers. So there was, the first tier was like you said, a casual player, like just shooting and having fun. And then the next level would be a little bit harder, and so forth. So you got to tier 4, which was, this is the only game you play, and that's all you'll ever want to play for the rest of your life, right? But like even at the low tier, it was like embedded in your head where it's like, yeah, you could be casual, but we're hoping you're making progress where you're gonna get to the next, like it was just that constant push to always keep trying and doing better, right? So, and like I get it, like the guy made the guild and he put time into it, right? He expanded out to 4 different tiers and all that, right? So I do get the effort he put
Wow.
into it, right? But yeah, like in the same breath, I'm like, dude, you're passionate about a game, but you're also kind of hurting that game. I mean, look at everyone you're losing, right? Because of that pressure.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Sometimes I'm like, I think old tabletop gaming RPGs could get that way as well. And I remember that. I remember there were certain groups of people that did some old RPGs, and it was tabletop, and you literally just wouldn't see those people. Like, whatever happened to such and such, you'd be like, whatever. Oh, yeah, they're over there. They're playing in this other town just north of us now. You're just like, oh, okay. And then what else do they like? Do they do it? Like, we were going to arcades, we were going to see movies. No, that's what they did. Like,
yep.
and you never saw them again. So, yeah, I remember that. I remember that being, that was, it seemed like once they got into that group of people, they kind of got absorbed, if that makes sense.
No, it does. Yeah.
You kind of get absorbed into that, and it becomes almost like a lifestyle, like a cultural almost in its own.
How about you, Gabby? Have you ever like played games where it involves clans or guilds, and was that like turn on like for you? Like, did you enjoy that experience, or did you find it kind of ruined the game for you in the long haul?
Not really played any of those games. Like, I couldn't even get really into like Destiny.
Like,
I just don't know.
I was gonna say, like, even like one of your favorite games, right? Like, let's, as an example, right? Like, if there was like that weekly quota or whatever, like, do you feel like you could play a game like that for like majority of your time?
Probably not.
No, right? Okay, I was just curious.
No.
Like, even favorite one like Oblivion, right? I mean, I know it'd be hard to make a guild or a clan out of that, but I'm sure there's a way you could figure it out. But anyway, like even a game like that, like I couldn't play that all the time. It had that be my only game. Yeah, it's too much. What about you, Mr. Fundead? Like you said earlier, you got a different perspective on people. I don't know. Have you ever had an experience like that?
My opinion on guilds and clans and all that kind of stuff, it's ran its course. It has served its purpose. Because with the way people are getting nowadays and the way that things are going with the world and everything, I wouldn't be surprised if it only happens for a very few other games, or if the games that already has it have that going for them. Like, if they stay alive simply because of the clan stuff. But in my perspective, I think it's ran its course.
Yeah, me too. Like I think with all the options you have now, right? Like Xbox, right? Like I said, I can hit you up anytime and we can play a game together, right? Like it's not like I need to be in a guild to do that anymore. And especially with Discord and I don't know, just there's so many more options out there now where I don't really think it's a benefit anymore. Like Mom was saying.
Yeah, it doesn't have the same purpose and everything else like that anymore. Now it's more like, oh hey, yeah, now we are able to have random people with us. Cool, that's awesome, making new friends. But at the same time, we gotta have those same people that we don't have in contact with at all whatsoever, other than whenever they're playing. Like, we have to have them around to do certain things and certain items inside of certain games.
Yeah.
due to the clan idea.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like I was trying to think. I think back in the day, like for StarCraft, I think that was a good timeline when those were beneficial. Because yeah, you really didn't have much of a way to interact with other people. But yeah, now we have such a huge resource of things, multiple social media platforms to use.
Yeah, I don't like the clan idea. Whenever I play Destiny, if I get an invite to a clan like I did like this last time, if it's funny, I'll join simply because it's funny and I'll get a good laugh out of it. But I don't join for the purpose of the people per se. I just join for the purpose of, that's funny. That'll make me laugh every time I get on.
Okay, so I guess the last part I had with this that I was thinking of is turning the tables, right? Let's say you wanted clans and guilds to survive, and you think that's really beneficial to a game. What what would you want out of the I mean, I get the community aspect 100%, but like, would achievements in video games would that motivate you more to log in and participate, or maybe some kind of in-game rewards, or I don't know, would there be anything at all that you'd find motivating to keep that feature in the game? I don't think
Nope.
achievements would do it for me. Maybe, I don't know.
Nope. Not a
Do
single
you
bit.
mean like to keep the clans, like the achievements that you get as a clan, and that motivates you to keep the clan? Is that what you mean?
You could do it that way, or you could do it like a game achievement. Like, hey, you joined your I don't know, your clan reached level blah blah blah.
Hmm.
So now you unlock that achievement, or like
Hmm.
spin the table and put it on Destiny 2. Like maybe you get a special gun because
Mm.
your
The
clan
clan.
got so far into I don't know, whatever the event was that week and stuff like that. Would there be any incentive at all that you'd find that maybe would make it worth it in the long haul?
Well, I think they do have quite a few incentives in Destiny 2 for clans
Do
if
they?
you use
Okay.
the clans in the way that they want you to,
Okay.
or in the way that they programmed it. So if you go into, let's say, to do any kind of event and you grab a bounty, a clan bounty, um, you get some pretty decent rewards for that. It used to be, I'll say, in I think it was D1 and early D2, the clan rewards were fantastic. There was a banner that displayed on your page, but you also, not just that, you had a visual cue, but then you also, as you worked up within your week on that banner, I cannot remember what it was, you would get drops, you would get higher tier, like prestige type stuff. And then they changed that about halfway through D2, and now the rewards are just not, I'm not going to say not as good. There's not as many. How's that?
Okay, yeah, gonna say like
It's not
I
as
don't
varied.
really hear you and Fundead ever talk about being in like a clan or a guild, right? So there must have been something that Destiny, focusing on that one right now, right? There must have been something that
Mhm.
they dropped the ball on, right? That took away your interest on being a part of that and contributing towards that goal or whatever it has. So you're saying for you it was more of the in-game rewards that they screwed up in the
Mhm.
long haul.
Well, they changed it out, and like I said, I know the Meatwad is in a clan, and they have a fantastic time. They have a good whoever moderates or controls that clan. It sounds like they're doing it right. I think that's it. I think it's finding the right fit. Um, I really think it's finding the right fit, and it's so easy to be toxic now in our society
Of
because
course.
there's a lot of keyboard cowboys out there. There's a lot of people that are just doing it just to do it. There's no other motivation behind it but um, just to see if they can get away with what they can get away with. So it's finding the right fit. I think that I can't say anything really negative about that clan that I was a part of, other than I just couldn't be in it 24/7. It just wasn't. I physically just didn't have the time. Um, but what they did do and what they offered was to teach you and train you to become better. And I will absolutely praise them for that because they were like, we want to bring you into a raid. We're going to teach you the mechanics of a raid. We want you to. It felt like you were kind of on like a team. Like we want you to succeed and get better and move up. And once you get through a raid and you get the raid gear and the raid, the stuff that you get out of a raid, a lot of those rewards are very powerful gear.
Okay.
So I think there's a benefit there too. It's twofold. So if you've got people inside of your clan that are like raid warriors, like we're gonna do a raid again this weekend, you wanna come and do it with us? This weekend we're trying for this weapon. They would keep doing the raid until everybody got the weapon.
See, I don't know if you
So
feel the same way. I feel like such a bastard. Like I'm not bashing clans or like that or communities.
no,
Like
you're fine.
just trying to play
I'm 50,
devil's advocate here.
yeah. No, I'm 50-50 on it. I really am. I'm 50-50 on it.
Like it's not like I'm stubborn, okay? But when it comes to a game, right? Like I love when people are like willing to help that, but I don't know if you get the same feeling. But I almost feel like it's like, okay, you're gonna play as the Titan and you're gonna have to use this weapon here, and it has to be this armor with this. Like it was kind of like that in Gems, right? Like where it's like, okay, you want a gold farm, but this is the team you have to use. And I was like, yeah, but like I like that because it looks cool. I just want to use it. But it's like, no, you can't. You're not allowed to use that. You have to use this. I mean, I guess maybe Destiny might be a little bit harder because there's a lot of selection in that game. But
yeah, I never heard that. I didn't hear that at all.
Yeah, like
I never heard any of those people say that. If anything, the only thing they said was, hey, if you're gonna fight against this boss, we know like these 5 weapons work the best.
Yeah, and that's not
you
bad.
use whatever you want to use. No, they weren't. No, it was just the amount of time that they were spending in it, and then it all framed up around a Discord, and it really became about the participation within the Discord, because the Discord was like, if you don't post like once a day or something.
Yeah, you were saying.
I don't remember what it was. And I'm like, excuse me? Like, what? No. And I had stuff going on in my life at that point. I mean, we were in the middle of softball season. And anybody that knows what goes on with that craziness, I was like, no, I can't do this. And I messaged the guy that asked me to come along, and I was like, look, I'm just going to show you her schedule. And I think once that became like, oh shit.
It's like, wow, you're really busy.
Yeah. I was like, maybe another time. Like, maybe absolutely like another time. But it literally can't be this time. And they were threatening to kick people off the server. Like, literally, like, if you don't post, if we don't find you, like, interacting on the server, we're going to go through and they call it, like, cleansing the server as a joke. And I was just like, nah, I'm good. I'm out. I literally didn't have time for it. So it probably was more around the Discord behavior, than it was. But all the people in the Discord were part of that clan.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that's like for you guys, right? Huge compliment. I think that's why I enjoy playing games with you guys. Like, if it's Minecraft with you, Mom, or Dying Light with you, Fundead. Like, even though you like, to me, right? You guys are like experts in those games, right? But I always love the fact that you're kind of like, yeah, just like screw around, try again out, try this out, try that out, see how you like it, right? Like, I said. I know some people are just trying to be helpful. They're just like, hey, this is the best character, best thing to do, best everything, whatever you can handle in that game, right? But for me, like, it just, I don't know, it turns me off so much because it's like, as much as, like I said in the last podcast, like, I don't like customization. Like, you can make me John Doe and that's my character for the rest of the game, I'm cool with it. But when you start to tell me like how to play the game, that's when it's like, okay, now I'm not interested at all in how to play this. I don't know, it sounds petty, but like, it just, I don't know, it kills the experience for me. It's like, like, again, to use Gems as an example, why have 300 cards if I'm only allowed to use 4 of them, and that's it?
Oh yeah.
You know, like
right.
it kills it. It just, I don't know, kills the enjoyment of it.
When I was playing that game, I had a moment where I was like, well, wait a minute, how am I supposed to like rank out, like get these cards, like make these cards, like build these cards out and make them stronger if I really had a moment with it where I was like, wait a minute, I'm gonna have to actually sit down and spend an extensive amount of time
Oh yeah.
to get these cards where I need them to be. And I was like, no, I can't. I play very casually now.
How about you, Gabby and Fundead? Do you guys prefer that in a video game, or do you kind of like solving it on your own or doing your own thing in a game, or do you prefer like a straight through walkthrough, like go here, do this, do that?
So for me, whenever I started Cyberpunk, it kind of pushes you in the general direction of where you need to go, and after you do like the first second of the game, it just releases you. It doesn't tell you what you need to do other than give you like a main story, but you can go do the other stuff before you do the main story, and then each section of that has its own campaign, which I really like. But with certain games, if you try to tell me how to play it, then I will quit playing it.
Okay.
Simply because that is a very big annoyance for me. Like if you allow me to customize and create my own character, do not tell me how to play the game. Do not force me to do certain things I don't want to do. That's simply my character that I have made. I have made this character the way I want to because I have a plan for this character.
How about in Cyberpunk, Fundead? Is there like an actual like best gun or like best build you could do, or is it pretty open?
It's wide open.
Yeah. Okay.
It is completely open. Some people go with like a berserker kind of thing. Some people go with stealth. Some people go with sharpshooter. Some people just go with just all around. And then there's people like me that don't know what the hell they're doing, and they just kind of throw perks and things everywhere.
No, that's good to know because I bought the game a couple weeks ago, and once I'm done Red 2, it'll probably be the next one I'll dive to.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good game, but I will suggest paying very, very, very close attention to the tutorials that it gives you.
Okay.
Because if you do not and you get lost, there is a way to look at those tutorials, but it is like trying to find a needle in a haystack.
And how about you, Gabby? Do you like to have like a straight through game that kind of, or at least someone telling you like how to play the game, or do you prefer to do things on your own as well?
Kind of on the both of it, but I mostly like to do things by myself.
Oh, okay. So, like, what is it that you
I
prefer to have like tell you what to do? Like,
I like it's helpful a little bit in the beginning, but most of the time I like to figure it out on my own.
I guess like another a version of that question is too. Because I think you were kind of talking about it, Gabby, and I was going to ask you earlier was how about with the help guides? Like I think you were talking about the Atomic Heart, right? The game you were playing, and you were stuck in it. And I was going to ask you earlier, like, would you look it up online, or do you prefer like not to look online for advice and just kind of figure it out?
If I'm really stuck, I will look online. That's happened a lot actually during games where I actually had to look up online.
Okay.
But with the Atomic Heart, it was just like a little glitch and it fixed right after the update.
Yeah.
Like nothing was showing up for it.
I was gonna say, yeah, I'm the same way too. Like, I'll give it a good haul, but like if it's like a week into that game and I still haven't figured it out, then yeah, I usually bite the bullet and I'll look online to figure it out.
Yeah.
How about you guys, Melvin? Do you like to use the online guides? I won't lie though, I kind of miss back in the day when you used to get like the actual like manual guides you could buy from the store. Those are always funny.
Game Informers.
Yeah. Those are the few
Fuck yeah,
times
they
that
used
I
to come
would.
with cheat codes and shit.
That's right. Yeah. I used to splurge on those all the time.
Oh my god, dude. So much money wasted. So much money.
I mean, you played some pretty big games, Funded, like with Dying Light or
Oh my god, dude. I used to look in those and shit and online all the time for like Sly Cooper and shit. And recently I have been diving into Arc. So therefore I am looking at how do I tame this? Oh, how do I make this? Oh, how do I make it work and stuff like that. And because the game doesn't walk you through it whatsoever. It just kind of, here you go, boop, and drops you into a world and says, good luck.
But do you I guess do you jump into it right away and look at those guides, or do you like I was like I'll take a week, whatever, or maybe like a couple days
Oh
try to
yeah,
figure it out.
no. I will try like 2 or 3 different methods, and if I can't figure it out, I'm like, okay, pause the game and look it up.
All right, that's pretty fair.
Because I'm there to play the game and try to advance the game to the best of my abilities. So therefore, I don't like wasting too much time with trying to figure it out by myself, because I know if I can't figure it out by myself with these 2 or 3 methods, it's going to be a situation where, okay, I got to go online. Look at it. There's no escaping it. I have to.
That's a very solid point, actually. Yeah, time frame can play a big factor. You're right. You're right. What about you, Mom? Are you stubborn? Do you try to figure it out, or do you eventually cave in and go online?
I was giving my daughter her kisses. Good night. Sorry.
Aww.
She just came in and scared me. I do a bit of both. I think I'm like fun a lot in this and with Dead by Daylight, like if I get truly stuck, I had somebody offer, Craziest 44 offered me to help me, like give me some tips and tricks on it. But if I get stuck, I'm just gonna Google it. I think we were old school, like with the old 64. We had bought the Zelda games, and then we gotten the books that went along, which were beautiful. And I'm so glad we did it. I know you can still get those books today, but it's just so much easier to Google now. It's like, but I did like those books, and we did have a subscription to Game Informer because we always had a membership too. I think GameStop had like a membership you could have, and
Okay.
yeah, we had the
You
membership, and
You can still get your Game Informer stuff from GameStop. Just to let you know, because
Yeah.
I got the subscription too. I have like a whole like obnoxiously large stack of Game Informers downstairs inside of a tote
That's cool. They
my
still offer
son,
that. Wow.
from like
yeah,
way back when. So
we got them
yeah.
we got them for a long time, and then my son, I don't know why one day he literally said, and he's very cut and dry. He just says what he has to say, and that's it. And he just said, literally said, "Don't buy this garbage anymore." And I will never forget that because he's so private with his feelings and his thoughts that he may have been thinking about that for months. Like, why am I reading this? Why am I reading it? And he just came downstairs one day and said, "Don't buy this anymore. I can find this information online. I don't need this anymore." I said, okay. He's he's very direct. We'll put it that way.
See, for
But
you,
yeah, we had tons of those. Yeah, they were helpful for a minute, and then Google, right?
yeah, yeah. No, I mean that's a good shout out, Mom. I kind of like your method there, where like I said, you had another streamer help you out. So it's a little different, right, from Googling because it's more interactive and all that. So that's definitely another good way to go about trying to beat it.
Yeah.
And then for you
Oh,
guys,
I did.
you guys had Game Informer. For me, it was the Dreamcast magazines. That was my big one that I subscribed to. I think the best part about those entire magazine things though were the demo discs. I don't know if you guys had a few of those that included them.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah, I
right.
think
That was
so. I
that
think he
was so
did.
much fun.
Yeah.
freaking demo discs.
I swear there were some demo discs I played more than the actual games I had.
Right? Okay, so whenever I first got like my Xbox, like the Xbox One, and I saw that they do like free demos of certain games. I remember playing those demos, which it would only have like a certain mission, and I would play it until I got so good at it that I got bored at doing the demo.
Yep, same.
And I'm sitting here thinking about it. I'm like, wow, I really did that.
Like in the music world too. I don't know if I'm really going to show my age or not. I don't know. Spin magazine when it first kicked off, you once a month they would have a sampler, and it would be hooked inside the magazine, and you had a disc with sample music on it, and it was full tracks of new and rising bands coming out of the indie music scene. You would tear that out, and I still have one. I found one recently going through a bunch of old CDs. So you would get sampler music. So very similar. I remember my son getting his demo disc though. I remember him
That's cool. I didn't
working
know.
with.
I didn't know the
Yeah.
magazines did that.
Mhm.
I know like I think it was, well, for Canada. Sorry, it was called a station called Much Music, and every year
Mhm.
they would have,
Yeah.
yeah, every year they would have their
Mhm.
own CD, right, of the best music of that
Yeah.
year. But that was cool that magazines had it. Wow.
Mhm. Good magazine did it. And then there was a record store in Indianapolis called Luna Music. I don't know if Luna's still around or not. But when the guy founded it and structured it, we just happened to be running like with the same crowd of kids in downtown Indy at the time. And he was handing us all out stickers and telling us about how he's building this company out. We were all the same age. He was like all of like 1 years old, I think. And he made a pretty good go at it. And I don't know if he's still around, but he did the same thing. He would promote, give out free samplers of music. And then Fat Records, which is the singer from NoFX, Fat
Oh,
Mike.
okay.
Yeah, I don't know anymore because I haven't ordered from them in so long. But when you used to order from them, they would send a sampler. And oh my God, my car got broken into, and someone stole like 30 CDs out of my car years and years
Oh.
ago, and they stole all my samplers. I was so upset over. Sorry. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
totally get that. It would be like I said, if I ever lost my huge collection, I think I still have most of my
Uh,
Dreamcast ones. I'd be upset because you can replace them now, right? Like, I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That was it. Yeah. Yeah. But it's so different now, and I don't think anybody has access to any of that kind of stuff anymore. I don't think
No,
anybody's. It's not the same. It's just not the same.
I think for me, the one when you were talking Funded about like playing them a lot. I know PlayStation One. I can't remember all the games it had on it, but I know there was Crash Bandicoot, like the first level. I want to say like I think I had one with Final Fantasy VII as well for the first level. But I remember those ones so well because like yeah, I'd play that one level like over and over and over again. I was like, this is good. This is all I need right now.
I have you. We were talking about. I don't want
I
to take
will
this
be
over,
right
but
back.
No worries, buddy. No, go ahead,
I,
mom.
I wanted to ask your. Craziest 44 mentioned Final Fantasy 14. It's an online. I can't get it through console. It's all on PC. And I think it's might be similar level to like WoW, like World of Warcraft.
Yeah. I think you're right. That one had a
Yeah.
really cool story to it. Not like the actual game story, but I remember
Mhm.
I think it came out. I don't know the whole gist of it all, but it didn't do very well when it first started, right? So they
Mhm.
like completely scrapped that game and apparently like rebuilt it from the ground up. But the cool part that they did it in the game too. Like apparently, like I guess like it was an apocalypse that happened in the game, and like
Oh, that's
everything.
cool.
Yeah, right. And like players were
That's
actually able to
cool.
play while this was
Yeah,
happening. I was like, wow, what a cool way to like, like imagine like
that's
Destiny
so
like was
cool.
like, okay, we realized we screwed up. We're gonna remake it from the ground up, and like like
Hmm.
worlds were blowing up on you and stuff like I don't know, I just thought that was so like I was like, wow,
It is.
that's a lot of
Yeah,
effort
I
to put
love.
into your game.
Yeah, I watched him stream the other night, and he was playing Final Fantasy, and I just got sucked into it. I was like, oh my god, it's it because I love costumes. I love the way my characters look is important to me,
Yep.
right? And you could do so much with the characters. And so I don't have a PC right now, but it is on my short list of things to get. And so that I will have one eventually. And that's probably one of the first games I'm going to load onto it after, especially after watching the stream the other night. It was just fantastic.
It's also like one of those series too, right? Like I've played a little bit of some of them, right? But I've never truly got into Final Fantasy. But I want to, right? Because like you say, when you watch someone
Mhm.
play it that like actually loves Final Fantasy, you're like, wow, I'm missing out. Like I'm definitely missing out on this
Yeah,
series. Um,
yeah. Each one is so different, though. I mean,
yeah.
my son, my son's played through 4 or 5 of them, and he's let me in on some of them not so much. But I remember this, and I don't even remember what the name or the number of it was, but I remember it being so beautiful. But at this time, it was just a complete like change from the previous game. It was just so different.
Yep.
And I cannot. It was startling. The whole community, I think, was like, "What is this?" And it was like it did very, very well.
No,
But
I mean
I
you're
want to say
you're
that.
right because I mean even like from PS1 right upwards, I definitely agree. Like Final Fantasy has always pushed that button on what to
Hmm.
expect in a video game as far as art style goes, and they nail it 100%. The very
Yeah.
few of them that I played, I've always thought it was like like I was like, wow, these cinema scenes are beautiful. Like the action's
Mm,
just
yeah.
perfect, right? Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
Sorry, Sleepy. I see you hopped on. Thank you for joining us tonight. Um, if are you able to talk for a bit? Are you still at work?
Oh, I guess she just got home. That's why
Oh,
I hopped on.
nice. Well, if you don't mind, I'd love to hear what you've been up to for the past week.
uh, School, streaming a bit here and there, and work. To be honest, school been kicking my butt for sure. It's so difficult. I was telling Z Chick last Wednesday. I was on her stream and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm about to take my first exam," which I completely bombed. The first like 15 questions, I was like, "Oh, this is easy. This is fine." And then last like 8 questions, I'm like, I jinxed myself. But that first exam didn't go well, sadly. Tear, tear.
Oh,
Because we have like an hour and a half on it, and like the last 8 questions, I'm just gonna completely fail this exam. F this exam. I have 4 exams that you go through. All right, I'm fine.
wow, 4 more.
Yeah, we don't have midterms, we don't have finals. It's pure exams. It's just like I work, and while I'm at work, I'm also in class as well. So I'm just like, can classes be over with? Just like I go back to work. Because there's sometimes like 4 people waiting. I'm like, am I able to sneak out and help, or should I stay in class? But usually like we're always working on our lab, so I'm just like, I can't miss it because he records everything, but like I don't check the recording. And my other 2 classes, I'm just like, I'm probably just gonna retake it. I'm so stressed out. IRL, basically. But
Oh, do you feel like you just
yeah.
took on like too much of a course load this time around, or?
Um, Definitely. 50-50. It's because like currently we don't have another barber. If people didn't know, I'm a barber. I work as a barber. So we don't have like another barber. So it's just like usually I work Monday to Thursdays usually, and then Friday to Sunday, I'm like, okay, that should be my streaming times. Like, I get to relax. I'm fully energized. I get to be more talkative with everyone in like my community and everyone else's community. But like, since I work 6 days a week now, and when I get home to stream on Friday night, I'm just completely silent. Like, I would have friends that would talk for me. They're like, "Why are you not talking, Sleepy?" And it's like, I'm dead inside, guys. If I'm being
tired,
honest,
man.
I'm inside. Yeah, I'm like, I'm tired. And you're like, "Aren't you streaming?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's why I have you guys. So my community laugh at you guys." They're like, "Wow, you're just using us for content." I'm like, basically, because when I'm by myself, I'm completely quiet. Like, I'm just chilling. I'm like humming to like song requests,
Yeah.
Because now like you guys do song requests in my stream and just do a whole bunch of like different commands in my stream, which is nice. Shout out to Juds. But yeah, it's just I've been catching up on some old anime. But today was pretty dead at work, so I watched one anime that has three seasons, and I'm on the third season right now. So that says a lot. From season 1 to season 3. This is a lot. Which is like, season 3 is intensified. I'm like, oh my god, I'm like shaking when I watch it. Like it's if you're into sports anime, on Netflix as well. It's called Kuroko's Basketball, whatever. It's on Netflix, and
Okay.
yeah, it's and then actually, I was supposed to take a week off of streaming, but like take a week off from streaming and games and social media for a bit because I'm like, I'm tired. But I'm not doing that anymore. Change the plans. So this week actually is gonna be something slightly new. I might actually end up streaming Thursday night after work instead of Friday night.
Okay.
And take a break on Friday. And probably take a break on Saturday too, and then Sunday go back to my afternoon streams when I'm more energetic. But usually when I'm streaming, I just woke up, so I'm still like, in that half asleep mode. But yeah, that's basically just been working at school and dealing with stuff IRL. But yeah, that's being and doing adulting stuff, which sucks.
I was gonna ask you,
Um,
Sleepy, for your job, obviously, like, I have a retail background, right? So for me, hiring people, like, there's always a pool of people ready to go. But when you're, like you said, your mom needs help in her work, is it hard to find like good barbers to like work for your guys' company, or?
so if you guys don't mind tea time, hello. But so we used to have two other ladies that work with us for like 6-7 years, right? Really nice ladies, they've been there since I was 18 and are barbering basically. And then but one of the ladies actually opened her own barbershop. Because it's every barber is the same. Every barber's dream is the same, is to open and run their own shop. So it's so she went off and did that, right? And we another lady who stayed behind, which is fine. But unfortunately, she just became untrustworthy. Not truthful. She's not honest. Because not only one time, not only 2 times, not only 3 times, we caught her basically stealing money from us, and we
Oh,
have cameras in our
shit.
shop now. So she will punch it into a cash register, but the money, because our haircuts are $20, and she'll punch it in a cash register, but she'll take that $20 in her pocket. So at the end of the day, when we, I work commission, so when we like count the money and pay everyone at the end of the day, we're always short $20, and then she would try to tell my mom, or maybe, because some clients will pay over $100, right? So we would get $80 back in change for them. So she'll blame it on me. It's like, oh, maybe she counted wrong, or whatever, or no one punched in, or whatever. So I was the scapegoat basically from her actions.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That
and
sucks,
then
Sleepy. Sorry about that.
yeah, but it's just, and then it's just too much tension and too much like negativity in the shop. So so she actually decided to leave on her own because she like, this is too stressful. She's an older woman, mid-60s. So I'm like,
That's a shame. It's
she's
still
like,
stealing.
yeah. And then we had a guy. He was okay. But he would. I don't know if this is the word, like, right, definitely, like, explanation for it, but he would try to like assert his dominance
Oh.
in front of my mom, who is his boss. Like, he would show her attitude. Like, he had a troublesome client, which is it's you can't please everyone with a trade job.
Of course.
Same thing with any like customer service job. You can't always please every customer that comes in. And then he just kind of threw a tantrum, basically, like a child. Like, he acted like he was like 6 years old, and he's early 60s, probably late 50s, early 60s, and he was just like slamming the door and like, trying to be alpha towards my mom, if that makes sense. And then so with my mom's past, with a little bit of my background, my mom doesn't do well with slamming doors or anyone raising their voice at her.
Okay.
Due to my dad. And then he was just slamming doors and stuff like that. And my mom's like, that's PTSD for her, basically. And she would call me, because it will happen on a Saturday when I'm not there, which is funny, because like, why would you do it when I'm not there? Because I'll say something about it. My mom's my boss, but if I saw that, I'm her child, so I have the urge to protect my mom.
Oh, of course.
But like, it's so funny because every time all three of us work together, that doesn't happen. But the day I have a day off, you wanna, you know? So she actually called me at work and she was like crying. She's like, I need you to come to work. Like, he's actually scaring me,
Wow.
And I was like, I had something to do. I'm like, Mom, I can't. I'm so sorry. She's like, and she's just crying. And that same week, I worked with him on Monday. And then he just packed his stuff and he left. After work, after he got paid a lot of money towards the end of the day. He got paid a lot of money, over 100. And then he just packed his stuff and left. So I'm just like, okay. And I'm like, okay, did you talk to my mom about it,
Yeah.
At least tell your boss. And he said, oh yeah, I would call her. And then he did end up calling. He's like, absolutely no respect for it. And it's just like, yeah, if I'm being honest, if I'm being real right now, it's just like, barbers, how my mom says it, it's not you interviewing them anymore. It's them interviewing you. You know, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And then it's just like, we had a really good barber. He worked for us for a month. He's really good. He's really talkative with clients, and people really liked him. But he was going through his own personal stuff. He'd been fighting divorce since 2018, and I don't know what happened. But after Lunar New Year's, Asian New Year's, he texted my mom Monday morning. Was like, "Will not be coming into work today. I drank too much last night. Hopefully, going back to sleep early." My mom and I didn't say anything about it. We just left it alone.
Yeah.
And then next day he quit. And I was supposed to have a day off because
Aw.
I was wearing my traditional dress that the night before to go out to eat. And then I actually fell. I tripped on my pants on my dress. And also I hit the curb. I tripped over the curb as well. So my whole right side, my shoulder to my leg was all almost dropped the phone on my face. But my whole right side of my body was like bruised up. It hurt. I couldn't move my shoulder like even halfway. So I was like all bruised up. So I was like, and my nieces were here, so I'm like, okay, I'll stay home and hang out with them. But no. And then he basically told my mom was like, "Oh, clients only, like the customers only know you and your daughter. I don't make that much money," which is complete lie, by the way. He makes the exact same amount of money as us. But he was like, I don't like a camera because I don't like a camera pointing at me. It's not pointing at him. It's pointing at the whole shop.
Yeah.
Right? But everywhere you go, cameras. Street cameras, the stores, gas stations. Everywhere you go, there's a camera.
Exactly. It's for protection.
Exactly. And then he's like, "Oh, I feel like the camera's on me. The clients don't like it." I'm like, okay, if I find it sus. It's like, if you know you're innocent and you won't do anything wrong, why would the cameras bother you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, but it's not pointing at him. It's pointing at the whole shop. Where our little shop is, it's unsafe at night. We have a lot of homeless people around. And you know, they're not all there, you know?
Yeah. No, I feel you.
Yeah, and then stuff like that. And then yeah, and she just made some BS excuse, and then since then my mom and I just working our butts off since that happened.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, wow. So at the end of the day, that it is pretty hard, to find a good barber that'll stay with your company.
Yeah, it's because, you know, we work with college students. I work in a college town, right?
Oh, okay.
So our main income are the college students. So when the college students are, you know, like spring break or summer vacation, right? They go back home. Some of them are from like the Bay Area, San Francisco, LA, stuff like that. So when spring break and Christmas happens, they go back home to spend time with their families. So we're slow. And a lot of people can't handle just sitting around for 8.5 hours. They want to like make money. They want to stay busy, and then we can't provide them that. So they're like, "Well, I don't want to work for you then," type stuff. So yeah, it's you. So yeah, just trying to do the best I can to help her out while still going to school. But since I'm more focused on work than school, it's kind of affecting my school life more than my work. Definitely affects my social life a lot because a lot of my boyfriend's friends are like, you know, let's go roller skating like 7, and or let's do karaoke at like 7 on a Saturday, and I would come to his house by like 6:30 or like stuff or something like that, and I'm like, I'm exhausted. Like, you can go I just stay home. But he's like, no, I want you to go. I'm like, my social battery's out.
I get
Like,
that.
yeah,
I mean,
it's
your mom's lucky to have obviously someone like you to help her out, but I totally get it. That's a lot of responsibility also to take on
yeah,
while you're doing your own life, right?
yeah. And it's just like it. It is a lot, but at the same time, it's like who else can she depend on? And like in the near future, I am taking over her barbershop. So by the time I'm 24, 25, I'm done being owner of a barbershop already.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a lot because people my age at 23, they're like, I'm in potion, I'm gonna go clubbing, I'm gonna do this, living their best life, and I'm over here by 9:30, 10 o'clock. I'm like, good night, peace, I'm out. I'm going to bed.
Well, hopefully before that takeover happens, you're able to at least have like a week vacation or something to recharge and enjoy life.
Yeah, my mom actually just told me in her car. She's like, next Tuesday, if you want a day off, you can have a day off. I'm like, I was supposed to have a day off today, actually, but I just decided to go in. I was supposed to have a day off yesterday, but I decided to go in. Good thing too, because we got busy yesterday. But definitely, I'm working as much as I can now, because hopefully, in May, I have to plan it out with my stepdad. But in May, hopefully, I could go to Hawaii for like 10 days, and that would be my week vacation from everything.
Oh yeah, that'll be really nice. Wow.
Yeah, it's nice to have a nice rich stepdad.
No kidding. Holy moly. Wow, Hawaii.
Um,
What an
he has a
experience.
house. He has a house in Maui. So I'm like, I want to, sun, ocean, pool. Hello, hiking. But I think if I go, I might bring my laptop and like do like Q&A with like streaming and showing everyone like Hawaii.
That'd be really cool. Yeah, that'd be an awesome stream.
Yeah, and but it's still up in the air because my boyfriend's actually graduating college in May. Once he passes his classes for the semester, so it'll be a nice little like graduation present for him.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And sorry, you were mentioning that you were streaming earlier. Was it more Genshin or a little bit of Valorant too, or did you do something different this time around?
I think it's a mixture now. Because for Genshin, I think and kind of copying Z check a little bit where when she plays Genshin, she does her dailies and her like commission quests.
Okay.
So I might just do that, and then like once I finish that, and I have nothing else to do, unless there's a storyline where it continues the story, then I'm like, okay, like let's play throughout the story into I can't no more, But besides that, very chill with Genshin for a little bit, and then I'm like, all right, time to go with Toxin mode, Valorant. But yeah, anyways, that's just me
No, nice.
rambling on.
I'm glad you and Z-Chick finally got a chance to like hang out a little bit and get further in Genshin.
We haven't fully like played together yet because every time like she's playing, like I'm playing Valorant already, or like I'm not on my PC anymore. But definitely, I sent her my UID as well. She sent me hers, so hopefully we'll probably play a little bit off stream, and hopefully I'll talk to her more and maybe collab with her.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
So, I hate to interrupt, but I do have to get off.
Well, no worries, buddy.
Since I was up until 1 o'clock yesterday and woke up at 6 o'clock this morning trying to hash out if I could stay home or go to work, whatever. I'm exhausted.
No problem, buddy. Thank you.
So I do want to say thank you for everybody who is watching this and everyone who is actually in the chat right now. It's been a blast talking to you guys tonight. Every single Tuesday, like I say, at the end of every single stream that we do. It's been a blast, and I always look forward to the end of Tuesdays simply because of the podcast and talking to all of you. It's super, super fun. But my night is about to end, so I do want to say thank you again for the last time, I promise.
No
Y'all
worries,
have a wonderful
buddy.
night.
You too,
You
Fundead.
too.
Thank you so much for always coming on, buddy.
No worries. I will see y'all next Tuesday, and hopefully I will be on whenever it starts. And I have to think up a topic. Oh boy. But see y'all later.
See you, buddy. Okay.
I may have to exit as well. I've got one more thing to do this evening before bed. So.
Oh, yeah, no worries, Bob. Totally understand.
Yeah. Yeah, it was nice talking to everybody and seeing everybody again. I'm excited that you're going to have your own barber shop only because my mother was a beautician for so long.
I'm so nervous, Mom. Trust me.
You're going to do just fine. And you've got a great support around you. You've got your mother with you. You've got family around you. It sounds like your partner is very supportive. So, no, you're going to do great. You'll do great things.
Thank you, Mom.
You're very welcome. And you all have a nice evening.
You too, Bob.
All right, bye-bye.
Alrighty. Well, I know it is getting a little bit later, but Sleepy, if you don't mind, because everyone else had a chance to kind of talk about it, a pretty cool conversation on it. Two-part question. So one is the topic of the night was from Pizza. He was saying, if you could survive, do you think, you'd be able to survive in your favorite video game world? And like kind of explain how you do that. And then the second one was thanks to Gabby. We were all kind of talking about what would be our go-to survival spot in a zombie apocalypse. So, for example, a large grocery store. Would you even venture outside your country? Yeah. So, first one being, do you think you'd survive in one of your favorite video game worlds?
Oof. That's a
Which one would it be? I guess Genshin or Valorant.
probably Genshin. Valorant, I'm always the one first picking out, so definitely Genshin. It's just just the adventure and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know how to explain. Just Genshin, they teach you how to cook and stuff like that. Definitely, meet new people on the way. So it's just fun little adventure, I guess.
I can see that, yeah. Because Genshin does have safe areas too. It's not like it's gonna be in constant danger if you lived in that world.
Yeah.
All right, and then on the other spectrum there, what about a zombie apocalypse? Do you have a go-to plan?
That's a really tough question.
I know, CK Fun, he really thought outside the box. He said he would travel to Alaska and live there, and he actually had a specific shop that he would invest in and live in. And then Mom was saying, she would use her area that she's in. So she's in the country, so barely anyone's around her.
I guess I would say a grocery store because food is essential.
Yep.
And there's a lot of places you can barricade yourself with. There's if that gets overrun, you to go through the back, and it's there's exits that you can get out of if you get overrun. Not to mention a bathroom. For like people to like not use the restroom outside. And of course, like the I guess quote unquote running water. So people like to like brush your teeth and like I guess shower in a way.
Yeah, no, that's a
But if
good
it happens,
idea.
yeah, and then if it happens to be right next to a gun store, that'd be great too. Just because usually gun stores during the apocalypse usually gets like that's the first place a person would go to like to arm themselves with. And but yeah, I would say mainly a grocery store because of
Yeah,
food.
no, you thought of a really good one there. Like the
Yeah,
hygiene factor is definitely one, right? That you don't think about in an
yeah.
apocalypse. That's a good shout.
Because when you go to a grocery store, right? They have other food, but they also have stuff like hygiene stuff.
Yeah,
There's like toothbrush stuff like that, and there's like
toilet
loofahs
paper.
and stuff. Toilet paper, yeah. But like just like they have a bathroom, even if the water isn't running, right? They still have like cases of water bottles, the big cases of water. Um, Honestly, I probably hide myself at Costco. Honestly,
Yeah, that's I was thinking too. At Costco.
yeah, because they have mattresses, they have clothes, they have kitchen too. Um, but yeah, that's a Costco's pretty great place to hide yourself in. It's big, and to like if you have a large group, there's enough clothes, enough food, um,
Yeah,
stuff like that.
I think you and me were on the same mindset because that's how I was thinking of too. I was like, if you have a good enough people with you, too, like you can make it work. You could get enough protection.
Yeah, and then also I don't know if you guys noticed, but like us also like it's also buy the Costco gas as well. Like
Yeah,
if you ever need to get out, you have your car, and like if it's not that serious, if you handling a bit, you could brief, to use those little like gas container and like fill it up, and then if you just need to go, you have like 5 gallons of gas. Like you with a container, like 5 gallon like container of gas with you.
yeah,
And
no, that's a good point. Yeah, I forgot about the little gas bar.
yeah, also how Costco closes, they have the steel door.
Yep.
So I just thought that would be a really good protection from the zombies. It's not open, the zombies won't know that there's people in. How long you stay quiet, I don't know. I just thought that was a good idea.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea too. I like that. I like that. So I'm sorry, Gabby. I know it must be late for you too. Um, last couple podcasts, I think Sleepy, you've been on a few. I've done this, but we kind of switched up the closing part of the podcast. So if you humor me with one more question to bother you with, then we'll wrap it up. But we try to end everything off on a positive note. So I was trying to think of a good one for this week. I guess when you get a chance to think about it, tell me something that you would give as advice to a content creator now. So anything you think would be useful for someone who's going to go into streaming, um, or make videos, or even I don't know, make a song or whatever the case might be. Um, what's something that you think would be good advice to give that person?
Definitely be the things that you say because they can be turned around.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a solid point.
Yeah.
That'd be yours. That your main point. Just be careful with what you're saying.
Yeah, because there's been like past YouTubers I watched, they had like some words been pulled out of context and they got everything ruined for them.
Yeah, that's actually very true. That happens a little too often sometimes. No, that's a good one. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that one. How about you, Sleepy?
One advice I got from everyone who started streaming, like stream before me, is just to have fun, you know. And also, like Gabby said, like be careful what you say, but also have fun with it. Don't worry about like how many people are watching you um or how many views you get. As long as you have fun with it, that's all that matters. Like if you make videos or you sing, you make songs, or like, even with streaming with Twitch, it's just you do it because you want to have fun. It's not. It's sometimes not all about the views or the followers. Just for fun. You just do it because you love it. You want to, you know, just make someone happy basically with your, with you just being on. There's a few streamers that like that when they stream or when they're like or when their vlogs come out, it makes me happy, and I want to I want to be that type of person someday. So yeah, just have fun and be yourself with it, I guess.
That's perfect. Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. Um, at the end of the day, right, being genuine and being who you are is always gonna turn out better for you in the long run. Than trying to portray something that you aren't, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. I guess yeah. On my side, I agree with both of you. I think yeah, I think we hit the nail on the head as far as what to do. If you are a content creator, right, just be you, and if you are a toxic person, right, then just be a toxic person because, like Gabby said, eventually the truth will come out, right? But if you're,
Yeah.
if you nice and you're supportive of other people, then continue to be that way, because eventually you will find the right clientele that'll click with you. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for, like I said, just coming on. Thank you, Gabby, for being one of the first members tonight and staying with you for this whole ride. I appreciate it. Always like hearing your opinions.
Nothing to do for my birthday, so.
Yeah, that's great, Sleepy. I forgot to give that a shout out.
But
It was Gabby's birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday.
thank you. It was really fun to be a part of today, though.
Oh, thanks, Gabby. I appreciate it. And same with you too, Sleepy. Thank you for. I think actually, yeah, you're one of the most reoccurring guests. I think you haven't really missed any podcast, at least for this year.
Yeah, yeah,
So
no, it's been really fun. It definitely helped me be not shy or be timid about it anymore, because definitely helped me grow as a person of like just talking and like with also like as a streamer as well. It's just I'm not that shy anymore. I'm just talking to myself sometimes.
like
So
like I've told you before, right? I love the fact when you're on here because I always get a new TV show to listen to, or you always bring something to the table when it comes to those weekly discussions. So yeah, hats off to
yeah.
you.
Also, that's just thanks to you, because I just have something to talk about. So I'm over here just venting everything.
Hey, it's always good to hear. But yeah, thank you guys again, and I hope both of you have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you guys next week, hopefully.
Yep. Good night.
Good night, everyone. Bye.
Night.
And with that, everybody, I wish you all a good evening, and I'd like to thank you all again for just being a part of this. Bye. Have a beautiful night.